everybody. Welcome to episode 16 of the Grumpy Gaming Weekend podcast on hopefully the 10th of August. We are joined again by the lovely PlatinumTrophyWife. You may remember her from episode 1. She was our first ever guest. How are you, Plat? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Well, yeah, I'm all right.
She asked us how we are. No guest has done that.
They don't care usually. They're just like, how long is this taking? Like,
I'm really good. Make me famous.
Do I get paid for this? I can't remember.
How many viewers am I guaranteed for being on the podcast?
I'll view your stream.
And it's
One?
Elliott. Yeah, it's just
It's
Elliott.
me.
And it's Elliott.
Yeah.
I didn't want that one.
Whoa, you don't want Elliott as a viewer?
I love
Rejected on the podcast, live on YouTube, Elliott. You've just been rejected as a viewer. You're banned.
Really
Get out.
Oh, okay, bye.
That was
it's
the
just
most
to get you views, because you can put that in the title, like drama.
Drama.
Yes. Oh my God, what a good topic to just throw in there at random. Like, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. Have you heard the conspiracy theories at the moment that like all these dramas that are happening are all like planned and staged because everyone's like dramas make good. Can we? I've said this weeks ago, Elliott. Can we have a beef, please? Can we just have a falling out?
I literally don't have the energy to have beef with you.
We'll just skip the pod. We'll skip the podcast 1 week, and we'll be like, we can't do the podcast this week because Elliott stole my Kit Kat.
We literally we missed like 2 podcasts. We should have just made up drama.
We probably
on one of those weeks.
That was your perfect opportunity.
Just be like, no podcast this week.
Oh, guys, you know that a few weeks ago when we missed the podcast, it was because Elliott said that loot boxes were the best. But yeah, it's lovely to have you back on, Plat. Thank you again for joining us.
I'm so honored to be here. I love being here.
15 episodes ago. Like, holy crap. That seems like a long time ago. I mean, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Even though it's not that long.
Just wait till you get to like 50.
I'm looking forward to episode 75. I don't know why. Just really looking forward to it.
We better make 75 hype.
Yeah, 100%. Anyone who's watching now, just wait. You just wait another 60 weeks or however long it is.
I'm excited.
I am excited too. Anyway, what have we been all up to this week? We usually start the podcast by saying what we've been playing. So, Elliott, what have you been playing this week? What have you been up to?
You're not going to introduce Elliott?
Hi.
If you don't know Elliott by now, why are you here? Why are you here if you don't know him? Do you know what? Fine. Sure. Elliott, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Elliott. I'm Blindside UK on Twitch and Blindside_UK on Twitter and Epic. And lots of things.
Why was Epic the standout? Like,
because I want people to play Dauntless with me. Add me on Dauntless. Blindside_UK. I've got super into it, guys. I've hooked my brother into it. Like a few more friends. Some of like my regular viewers. I'm just like, play Dauntless with me.
You're a Dauntless peddler.
Like, I need to start streaming it. To be honest,
right over it.
How?
That was a strong hand signal. That was
big.
Thank you.
It's big monsters, and you have big weapons, and you hit the big monsters with big weapons. What more could you want in a video game?
I'll play Shadow of the Colossus if I want that feeling.
Oh, I love
those.
That game.
Those monsters are too big, and your weapons are too small.
Still haven't played the remaster. I've only played the original PS2.
Oh, I'm sorry. The scale is too much for you.
I can't deal with it. As a man, I want the biggest weapon I can get my hands on. I want a big car and a big weapon. All of it.
Are you overcompensating for something?
Definitely getting banned from YouTube this week. I think we've already been shadow banned, to be honest, but this is where the official ban happens.
Welcome to the Shadow Realm. If you found us...
You're welcome. My name is PlatinumTrophyWife.
So you were on the first and the last episode, Plat. It came full circle.
I just really wanted to bookend it for you. I'm helping you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I love a good symmetry.
So what have you been playing? Get to the point. What have you been doing?
What have I been playing? I've been playing Shadow of War, which is the second Middle-earth Shadows game. I played Shadow of Mordor on stream, and I completed it on stream. Now I play Shadow of War. It's good. It's fun. It's nice. Wanton violence. Go around, stab things.
Which we have a point about later. That's a nice little sort of pre-segue to the point we're going to about later.
Because of recent news, I've had to move it to a pacifist run of Shadow of War, which is really super difficult because your tools are stabbing stuff, and now I'm not allowed to do that. I have to just open a channel of debate. We have to like sit down, have conversations. We have to have a focus group.
We have to fill out forms.
Oh, you have to like do the prequel Star Wars like political pathway.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I thought it meant like sneak attacks and just like strangle everybody instead of.
No, we have to sit down and we have to talk through our issues.
Yeah.
Whoa! So I had no idea that was in the game.
They're all like dark domination of the world, and I'm like, guys, come on, no, you killed my family, which is the story of Shadow of War, if you don't know.
And also Star Wars.
And yeah, just all of it. Like, who doesn't love a good vengeance arc?
And it gets everywhere?
No, not in Shadow. To be fair, the first one's all like in big fields out in the open. And then the other one's like in it's Minas Ithil, I think, which is very Minas Tirith-ish. But it's like a big city. And it's like really cool cityscape. Like obviously Assassin's Creed, you do a lot of running building to building and stuff like that. So this Shadow of War is much more akin to that. So there's a lot of like diving off buildings and all that cool stuff. It's a lot of fun. I've been playing Dauntless in my own time because I am enjoying it.
Sorry, are you enjoying Dauntless? It's not like you.
Are there dozens of you who enjoy Dauntless?
There are at least 6 people on that game.
There's enough to make one like hunting party,
and the other 2 people just have to wait. You just have to wait till you're done.
Like we roll subs, it's fine. It's all it's really well sorted out. And today I sat and streamed Satisfactory because I was hungover this morning. So I was like, I want to play a game where I can just make machines and find a lizard dog. We did a group stream of Satisfactory when I first got it. It was me, Taylor, and Grumpy.
That was fun.
To be fair, it was a lot of fun. You and was it you and Gup or was it you and JP? They just like ran off and tried to make the world's longest conveyor belt.
It was JP. We haven't seen Gup in like a year. I don't know where he's been. It was JP. Yeah.
We wish you well. Our prayers are with you.
No, he's fine. He literally liked to tweet yesterday. That's how you know people are alive in 2019. They like.
He liked to tweet, which also meant he was definitely in the bathroom.
Probably, yeah.
Like, that's the only time you hear from Gup when he's just like he's on the toilet. He's like, Twitter.
I really hope Gup like tunes into this, watches this, and is like, "Why the hell are you talking about me?"
I haven't been there for a year.
What the hell, guys?
This is what happens when you don't play Dead by Daylight with us anymore. This is what happens. We talk about you on the toilet. Please continue. Please continue your story of Satisfactory.
Hold on.
Which part is confusing you, Plat? I don't know.
You talk about him on the toilet, like that's to yourself. I'm
Elliott
assuming?
Literally just said when he liked the tweet, he was on the toilet.
Yeah.
It
sounded like you talk about him while you're on the toilet.
Maybe we do. Maybe we do. Maybe we go to the toilet,
just
like
chat.
synced up.
Yo, where's Gup been?
And then we chat. You know, like
Can we do a podcast where we're just all on the toilet?
No, I'm pretty sure that's against.
My legs would go dead so quick.
Yeah.
No, we get dead leg like if you're on
not allowed. Well, you're not allowed to record in a public bathroom. Dr. Disrespect found that out. But what about a private?
Yeah,
bathroom?
That's what I was gonna say.
Are you allowed to?
I mean, I don't see why not.
I mean, you gotta like ask permission. I'm assuming, and it's you. So
yeah. I mean, I'm purely thinking of the acoustics of the room aren't going to be that good as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a shit show. Anyway, there was a pun in there. Carry on. Infinity Factory. No, not that one. Satisfactory.
Satisfactory. So I played Satisfactory today. It was quite good. I need to find some time to pick it up more often because I definitely want to dive back into it.
I'd love to play it again. It's just finding time.
Man, I'd love to do some more multiplayer with it, but obviously the problem with streaming stuff is you don't want to just bring randomers into a multiplayer game, and Satisfactory isn't free.
Especially for something that you want to play over time as well, because you don't want people to drop in and out of that game, really, do you? Because somebody will start building like their own base and then they come back next week and it's somebody else.
And I can imagine if someone gets like a decent way through like a little automated setup and then you try and take over from it, trying to work out what everything's doing is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. That game definitely requires some sort of pre-planning. But have you been playing anything else? Is that everything you've been up to?
I played some Defense of the Ancients. For any of you, that's Dota.
He really wants this as a running joke. He's like, please, can we get this on a t-shirt? Like, he's trying so hard. And I appreciate it.
Like, no.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we haven't done time travel for a bit, have we?
No.
Oh, not since last week.
Let me go back and we'll do it next week.
So if you're watching this in October, we may have done time travel by then. So who knows? So go ahead and watch whatever time this is. Go ahead and watch the latest episode of the podcast and see if we talk about time travel. Do it. And while you're there, like the video and all that crap.
And see if it's the 75th episode.
Yeah, I mean, watch them all back to back. Binge watch the Grumpy Game.
If you've watched the 75th episode and you've gone back and you're now watching this, talk about how hype the 75th episode was.
How hype.
Hype.
Yeah, if we're massive famous YouTubers by then and streamers, if we're like massive and you're coming back and being like, whoa, how crap was that podcast on episode 15? First of all, fuck you. Second of all, we've improved now, okay? It's good. It's better now. Probably.
Boom.
So
F-bomb, straight out of the day.
I don't care anymore. I told you, I'm over it. Like, I'm living on the edge with YouTube policies.
Grumps used to be like, okay, try not to drop F-bombs too much.
I did. Well, no, it's in the first few minutes. It's in the first few minutes of the video. You're supposed to not drop the F-bombs, and then like
I think it was like episode 3 or something, and you were like, oh yeah,
There's
try
a
not to drop
time limit?
F-bombs. So after like 3
Yeah.
minutes at the start of the video,
well, there's
you're not
debate
supposed
about
to, like hard swear.
No. So I've heard 3 minutes, and then I've also heard the first third. Now, if you think about it, the first third of the video would make sense if most videos are 10 minutes long to be 3 minutes. So I don't know if it is the first third, but basically the more you swear at the beginning of the video, like the less, because YouTube scans all your audio, by the way. Like a lot of people don't know that. YouTube will scan your video for audio to detect certain words and things that you're saying that are not appropriate, which is fair enough, honestly. But they do that, and if they detect a lot of swearing in the beginning of the video, they just don't promote your video as much. They've admitted that as well.
Demonetized, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you get demonetized and you don't get promoted with the algorithm. So that's like not tinfoil hat, guys. That's like fact. YouTube have admitted that. But anyway, moving on, because we're probably already shadow banned, but moving on. I've been playing a couple of games this week. I had my big return to World of Warcraft, and when I say big return, it was more of a I really don't know what else to play, and I need some gold for Classic, so why not, I guess. We went back in, we played World of Warcraft BFA. I say BFA, we didn't touch BFA content. We just did some gold making. We did some of that, and it was... I'm going to be honest, I haven't missed it. I haven't missed it in the slightest.
Yeah, I recently went back like last year, and I was like, I like other games more now.
Yeah, well, did you play BFA at all? Because it's got even worse.
No, because that's the new extension, right?
Yeah. It's
No.
just, it doesn't interest me at all. I'm really looking forward to Classic WoW, and this is the reason why I jumped back into it. So I basically want to buy a WoW token to pay for Classic WoW, so I'm not actually giving Blizzard any more money. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many, as a mount collector, and as somebody who likes to collect things in that game over time, there's so many mounts now you have to buy. There's so many time limited events in that game that if you missed it, you just missed it. You don't get that mount anymore. There's so much of that. And then when you go to the modern content, there's just everything's just RNG based. I feel like I can't win in that game anymore. I feel like I can't do anything in that game without spending 60 hours a week playing it, and so I don't bother. I give up, and I think a lot of people are feeling that way. I mean, we weren't going to talk about Blizzard, but Blizzard are essentially losing a lot of players across their games. I mean, reports are saying 29 million this year.
That seems like way too much.
Well, they have a huge player base, so 29 million isn't like, like I could believe that, but yeah, they're losing players across the board, and you can tell that any game.
I wonder what constitutes as like a player though. Like, is it because you just have an open BattleNet, or is it, the paying subscribers of WoW?
I don't know how they get that data, but this was coming from their quarterly financial report, so they're well aware that they are losing players. They know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that wasn't a topic we're talking about today. If you want more on that, go and check out /heel versus babyface. He talks about all these topics. But I've also been playing some Dino Crisis offline because I've been recording a Let's Play. I don't know if either of you played Dino Crisis before? No. See, lots of people haven't. I don't get it. It's a really, really great game. It's a PS1 game. And it's made by the same people who made Resident Evil, right? Everyone knows Resident Evil. Everyone's like, cool, Resident Evil. Yeah, I know that game. I've probably played it. But then nobody's played Dino Crisis. I don't understand.
Does Dino Crisis have at least like 7 sequels and 3 animated movies?
It has several sequels, some of which are absolutely trash, just like Resident Evil. It had really good games and then trash ones. It's like, yeah. But no, it is the first and second game. Well, the first game is essentially the same as Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs. It has a few different mechanics, but it's still tank controls. It's still survival horror. It's still, instead of like green herbs and red herbs, you just have med kits and stuff. But it's really, really good. It's really cool. It's got an awesome story. I'm not going to spoil anything because this Let's Play will be getting uploaded sometime next week. Well, the first episode will be anyway. But it's got a really awesome story. The protagonist is awesome. She's a sexy redhead. What more could you need? She's a sassy, sexy redhead as well. Redhead. She's a sassy, sexy redhead. Which again, what more do you need from a game from the 90s? But yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it.
Even now.
Or even now.
Nothing's
exactly.
really changed.
Exactly. Sassy. I can't say it. This is like a tongue twister.
A sassy, sexy redhead.
Thank you. They never go out of fashion. You're absolutely correct on their plat. But yeah, if you've never checked out Dino Crisis, it might be worth checking out the Let's Play because I I feel like it's one of those games where I've been begging for it to be remastered, and Capcom have said that if the remasters that they're doing now do well, they'll consider it. And from what I can tell, Resident Evil 2 remaster / remake, it's technically a remake, but the Resident Evil 2 remake did very, very well. Everybody that played it said it was good. I hope it sold well. I really enjoyed it, and so hopefully they'll look at Dino Crisis. A lot of people
were really
next.
excited about that game.
Yeah, it was really, really well done, and so I hope that they do the same thing with Dino Crisis. But if they don't, there is a Let's Play that I will be uploading soon on the YouTube channel, so look out for that. Keep your eyes peeled. So, Plat, what have you been doing this week? What have you been up to?
Well, I just finished getting the platinum of The Last of Us on the PS3. Because I already had the platinum on the PS4, and so I wanted to get it on the PS3 in general. And then recently, Naughty Dog put out a tweet that was like, "Yo, we're gonna close our servers for the multiplayer, and there are 4 trophies associated to the multiplayer." So I was like, "Well, I gotta get my ass in gear if I want the platinum." So and it's not just Last of Us; it's actually all their PS3 games. So it's Last of Us, Uncharted 2, and Uncharted 3. They're closing all those servers. So I, did that, and I got that platinum, and now I'm working on Uncharted 2.
Nice. Didn't you? Yeah. You sort of speed ran the campaign, didn't you? You did what did you call it again?
Yeah, so I called it PGDQ, which is a play off of GDQ, SGDQ, etc.
Yeah,
games done quick. Yeah. And because the whole thing about GDQ is that they speedrun games and raise money for charity.
Yeah.
And I needed to go through the story on Survivor Plus to get a trophy. So, and because I went through to get all the collectibles on easy, I was like, well, I just need to speed through this. I just need to play through the game. So I was like, well, I'll make it a GDQ. And it was, actually kind of funny timing, if you can say that, because an IRL friend, his mother was recently diagnosed with cancer, and so had a GoFundMe, and he was really close to his ultimate goal. And so I was like, oh, I'll just make, we'll raise money for that then. And so I've never done speedrunning before, so I had the splits up. We made it just like GDQ. My husband.
I jumped in. It looked the overlay did it really well. Did you do it or it looked
I did it,
it looked like a proper GDQ overlay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I put a lot of hours into it. But yeah, we had the splits, and then I even had it measured up to the world record, and I went 4 hours over the world record. And I had a bunch of commands so that way people were well informed, the frequently asked questions. And the best part though was that my husband would read all the donations and stuff as if it was GDQ.
Yeah, so, that's what JP posted in my Discord. He was like, Plat's husband is reading them out like GDQ, and that's why I popped in and was like, oh, this is really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's actually so really funny as well, because I appreciate GDQ, but I never have been I'll watch it now and again. It's one of those things I watch it now and again. I never get really excited about it. But just recently, this last couple of weeks, I've been getting really into it. And so it just really sort of coincided. I've been watching a lot of old Pokemon reruns and stuff like that. And I watched, what's the other one I watched? I watched another one, I can't remember. But yeah, so it was just really weird how I was just starting to get into that. And then you did one and I was like, oh, cool, let's go.
Yeah, it's so funny because GDQ is, if I'm able to talk about Valhalla's Most Wanted for a little while.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can promo as much as you want.
Well, Valhalla's Most Wanted is a streaming community similar to DNA. But no, their foundation, our foundation is very much set in GDQ. That's how the guys met, and we're like, hey, we should start a streaming community. And because they were so in love with Mario and GDQ, and so that was their foundation. And then as time went on, GDQ or SGDQ specifically has really become ValhallaCon. That's where everybody goes to meet and talk and stuff like that. So really, I'm really not into speedrunning. I only go to see them and maybe catch a stream, a speed run here and there. Cause also a lot of the games that are speed ran, I've never played, don't know about. So speedrunning is just a whole nother genre. And I keep saying it's literally the opposite of platinum hunting, where you literally do everything and it takes you 6 months sometimes. And then they have, but I want to do the least amount of stuff in the quickest time possible. I'm that is literally the opposite of how I play games.
Yeah. Well, I just say we didn't officially introduce you this week because I'm assuming everybody watching this episode saw the original episode where you were there. But just in case you didn't,
everyone watched it.
Everybody does. Just in case you guys don't know, PlatinumTrophyWife, you may have guessed by the name, she likes to collect platinum trophies on PlayStation. So kind of your niche, kind of your thing, which is really awesome.
Yes.
I think it's really cool. But yeah, that's what you do, isn't it? So hence
Yeah.
why you were trying to get this plat before it disappeared. So did you get the plat?
I did. So I got it like a couple weeks ago or last week, which was really fun because, and I'm glad they gave us ample time. So I even like tweeted like at Naughty Dog and was like, thank you for giving us like, I think they gave us like 4 months in advance or something, like 2 or 4 months in advance. That like the day they were going to shut it was September 3rd. And I was like, thank you, because their multiplayer trophies take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You need to play at least 84 times 2 matches. And a match can last anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes. So it takes a long time if you don't even mess up, because there's a part where, you know, you can mess up, like lose everyone in your community and literally start from square one again. So
well, it's really interesting. We kind of this kind of leads us onto a topic we want to talk about today, which is you know, when games have multiplayer achievements or trophies, you know, like what happens when they get removed. It's something that anybody who knows me knows I really don't like time limited things. I really don't like time limited events. It's one of the reasons why I get so frustrated with PUBG and Fortnite and all those games have battle passes. But it's very true. Also kind of linking into a conversation that we had on the podcast week before last, I think it was, about like, you don't really own your games anymore. You know, like games are being changed and evolved constantly. And we made an argument, or rather I made an argument a couple of weeks ago that, you know, like, should we as consumers be allowed a refund if a game that you buy like radically changes after you've bought it? And we're not going back into that topic, but this is all kind of on the same sort of wavelength, is that we don't really own games anymore. And with games that have multiplayer components, which is pretty much every game now, like every game has some form of multiplayer attached to it. What happens when the server shut down? You know, like what happens? And in some cases, in some cases of games, people will open up their own unofficial servers, and so you can continue to play the game, and that's fine. But in the capacity of actually like achievement hunting and collecting trophies, you're kind of SOL,
you're
really,
like
aren't you?
Locked
like
out sometimes.
Yeah,
I know some games like it's literally like you're just locked out. And it might not even be that the server is ending. There's also, if they don't support the server and it's full of hackers, that can also make a trophy like really, really hard to obtain, especially if it's like win so many matches or something like that. And then you have hackers that are, you know, going against you. And then they don't have the service to help that out. So it's not even like I'm not skilled. It's literally like I can't do it.
Yeah, 100%. And as somebody who that's your thing, that's what you do, you get every achievement in a game, every platinum in a game, sorry, every trophy in a game, like that really affects you. And you may be like a niche audience, you know, like platinum hunters may be like very niche, but still there's definitely something to be said that if a game that you buy, one day you have an achievement or a trophy locked out, like what do you do? Like what happens is just sat there, like, okay, that would frustrate me so much if there's just there's a trophy sat there and you can't get it. Like as soon as you can't get something, I want it. I'm that kind of guy. Like this happened to me with Heroes of the Storm when the beta first launched of Heroes of the Storm. If you bought anything on the store, you got given a special mount. And at the time I was at uni, so I had no money. So I was like, I don't need it. It's a skin. It's a cosmetic. Like why would I don't need it. It's fine. Yeah. And then as soon as they were like, okay, right now you can't get it anymore, I was like, I want it. I need it. Please.
I've made mistakes.
I've made mistakes. That was part of the downfall of my love for Blizzard, though, was like all of that stuff. But anyway, not going back into that. We hate Blizzard. It's fine. You, Elliot, you were like telling me when we were playing Wolfenstein, which we haven't uploaded that Let's Play yet, but you were telling me when we play Wolfenstein that you're kind of a collector too. You like to go and get collectibles through games.
Live for collectibles in games. I don't know why. Like when we had Platinum the first time and we talked about Platinum trophies, and I said the only game that obviously it wasn't a Platinum because it's on the Xbox, but you get like 1,000 gamer score. Like all the achievements add up to 1,000.
Right.
The only one that I had before the podcast was Assassin's Creed 1. And it was literally just like, there was like flags. They were like weird digital flags that appeared. And it was like, you just ran around and you found them. And I was like, I found a handful of them. And then I was just like, I'm going to find every single flag. And I did.
This is my mission now.
But it was like, I was chatting to friends that like, you have like friends over or so and you'll be playing a game and you're just playing Assassin's Creed. They're like, oh, like, have you, like, how far through the game are you? It's like, oh, I finished it. I'm just going around getting all these digital flags. And they're like, why are you doing this? And I was like, I don't know. I had some,
Such a waste
and
of
now
time.
there's literally just this thing that's like, you have 25 out of 100.
I do think
need to.
I do think that has been programmed into gamers since the dawn of time. Like, even if you remember back to the games like Sonic and Mario, if you collect 100 coins, you get a life, right? So it's like, we have to collect things, we have to do everything. Like, I think it's programmed into us as gamers to be like, right, we have to finish the game, kind of thing. Even though
love a high score. Like, like, I want to have numbers. I used to make a joke where I used to live. There was one of these things where it's like a speed camera in it, and it would flash up how fast you were going. And I was like, as a gamer, I just want to get that number as high as possible. And everyone's like, that's not how that works.
We
and
don't
like,
advocate speeding, of course. YouTube, chill out.
Oh no, I didn't do it.
Yeah, of course.
In my head,
I feel like I had to clarify for Taylor's
it was like,
sake more than anything else.
How high can I get this number?
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's
like, what happens? You get it to 99 and then you get an extra life.
Like, it rolls over.
Like, yeah, who knows?
Well, I don't know. Like,
again, don't try it at home, kids. Don't do
you
it.
Get it
You should be driving if you're a kid anyway, but just don't.
Yeah, kids, don't drive without a license. And then once you got the license, don't speed.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad you clarified. But yeah, it's weird because I'm one of those guys.
Unless there's a high score available.
God damn it. No, even then doesn't count. And also don't play games while you're driving. Anyway, I'm the weird kind of person who, like, I never feel the need to complete a game, but I'm also somebody who likes to collect things within games. And so I had a recent sort of gripe with Fortnite where I bought the Battle Pass of Fortnite. It's only the second Battle Pass I've ever bought. I don't play Fortnite very often, but I bought the Battle Pass of Fortnite and I had like a week left to complete everything. And I got to level 100 and I was like, cool, there's just a couple of little challenges I need to do. I'll do them in a day or two. And then I got super busy and I couldn't complete it. And so then I went back into the game after the season 9 had finished and there was a skin that looked really awesome that I'd already unlocked the base skin, but there was a variant that looked way better, like more detailed, nicer color scheme and all of that lot. And I couldn't unlock it because I just didn't do that challenge within the allotted time. And those kind of things really bug me, especially when you're paying for the privilege. And so it's kind of the same thing where you've bought a game and, you know, nobody can expect servers to be run forever. They cost money. You know, it costs a lot of money to keep a server going. And as the game dies off and dwindles and the play base dwindles, eventually the server's going to get shut down. And with that, though, like I said earlier, it's, you know, there's a potential that you can set up your own server or somebody can set up an unofficial server so you can still play. But for those people who maybe bought the game late and they want to complete it, you just can't. And I don't like it, but I also don't see an alternative. Like, the only way I could see them fixing that is by giving everybody the achievement, but then it kind of diminishes the people who did get the achievement.
I was going to say the problem, because I was literally going to say when we started this conversation, like, the problem is, so you have two choices. You can give everyone the achievement, or you can just make it so anyone that doesn't have the achievement yet can't get it. If you give it to everyone, the people that have got the achievement are going to be like, well, I earned this achievement and they didn't. And then the people, and if you don't give it to new people are going to be like, well, that's not fair because you've got the platinum and I don't. But I physically can't, like, I can't do anything about it.
Exactly. It's a weird one. Because even if you were to say, okay, we won't give you the platinum, but we'll make it so that you don't require this platinum now to get, sorry, we won't give you the trophy, but we'll make it so that this trophy doesn't count towards the platinum. And then even then you're going to have people that goes, oh, well, I had to work harder to get my platinum than these people. There's no, like, win.
I reckon you should have, like, a platinum, like the original platinum. And then what you should do is if you take that trophy out, have a new platinum put in of just like got the platinum after this change, or like platinum with an asterisk, whatever.
But then you're still gonna have people that are like, I wanted that original platinum.
But I mean, you can't have it though. Like, screw you. Like, if they've done the thing to be like, oh, you can still kind of get it, but you kind of can't. But like, we'll give you this thing because you've done everything other than that. And then you're like, but I wanted the old one. We can't have the old one. Tough. Like,
yeah. I'm trying to look up because the other option is to change the trophy. And if you already earned it, you just keep it and then change the trophy into something that someone else can earn. Because I believe Overwatch did that with them constantly power balancing people. Yeah. They used to have an achievement where it was, or a trophy, was Mercy had to res 4 people. Well, she physically can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like old school Overwatch. And so, I could have sworn they changed the trophy, but I was just looking it up to like verify that was the case. And I think that's a probably good compromise is like if you're gonna get rid of your multiplayer servers, then like then change it to even more story based like trophies then. But I don't know what you would do,
but then people who already have the platinum, do they then have to go back and do those ones?
No, so like if you already earned it, like you would just keep the trophy. That's
right.
And I think Naughty Dog did say they might change it, but that was like from a comment, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, unverified source. But yeah, it's a tricky one, and it is weird now how every game insisting on having some online component. It's very telling that when that online component goes away, you know, the game becomes almost worse. And it's kind of worrying considering that everybody keeps saying that, oh, the future of games is going to be streaming and we're going to stream everything and everything's going to be online. And again, what happens
until
when
they shut down your server?
Exactly. If things like Google Stadia as an example, you know, if you don't physically own the game, once the servers are shut down, whatever you've purchased is just gone. So this is why like people like myself and others like really want physical sales to keep going, because you know, just a great example, right? I picked up Dino Crisis the other day, which is how long? 20-year-old, 94, I think. So you know, 20-year-old game. And I picked it up and played it, and it was exactly the same experience as I had when I played that 10 years ago. Because I played it, you know, when I was after release, of course. But so it was the exact same experience. So the experience that I got when I was a teenager and loved it was the same experience that I got last week when I played it. And so we don't have that anymore. You know, like I can't go back and play Halo 2 because the servers are gone. I can't play Halo 2 multiplayer, which is interesting because, you know, the Halo 2 multiplayer was so good because it was online, but now you can't play it. Even though maybe we'll get to play it with the PC re-release, but, you know, that's relying on developers to go, hey, we'll remaster it or re-release it, which is another reason why I don't hate remasters, and I get confused when everyone's like, stop remastering games, remastering, stop remastering them.
But who's
take the masts away?
Who's really saying that? Like, is there really people out there?
No,
like,
there was
don't want remasters.
Last year or the year before. I'm sure Plat will back me up on this one. There was like a real big pushback against remasters. They were like, we want original new IPs. Like, stop making old games. It was like a real hard push against it, and I never understood that because some of the best games of the last few years have been remasters. Because most modern games are garbage. So you know, it's like take something good and remake it. Like.
Yeah, my biggest argument with remasters is like, don't just like up the graphics. Like, I want it to almost be remade versus remastered, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but that's a tricky one because some people just want the same game that they played but prettier. Like, and even me with Final Fantasy VII, yeah, exactly.
All I want is the same game.
Same here until I saw the trailer at E3, and now I'm kind of sold. That looked amazing. So I'm like, I don't know. I want to see what they can do with it. Like. I feel like maybe we could get something better, like with Resident Evil 2. I'm not saying that the remake of Resident Evil 2 is better than the original. They're both really good games, and they're both separate. Like they have links, but they're separate games. You can still go back and play Resident Evil 2, the original, and get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and you can still play the new one. And I'm hoping that's going to be the same with Final Fantasy VII. And so again, like I just think this is all just more reason to be like, yeah, throw some more remasters at me, do it. You know, like I'd rather have a remaster that's of a good game any day than Anthem or Fallout 76 or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I for one am not really a big multiplayer player.
A multiplayer player.
Like, yeah.
I am not a big multiplayer.
I just like, they're fun for a time and they're like a phase, and then I'm like done. Like I'd rather have character and story and
yeah, I like both. This is the thing. Like I love multiplayer games. Like Halo 2 was my favorite game for a long time, but then again, I really love the campaign of Halo 2 as well. So like we need both, and this is why. For years, the video game industry has been telling us that single player is dead. And for years, I've been saying you're an idiot. It's never going to die. It will never die. Just because Fortnite right now is the most popular game and millions of kiddies are playing it, that doesn't mean that people aren't still begging for good single player experiences. And, you know, like they're still selling. So just because you don't make as much money.
Isn't Cyberpunk like one of the most anticipated games?
I anticipate that Cyberpunk is going to be a smash hit success, no matter how good or bad it is.
Spider-Man, we had God of War. Like, there's plenty of single player games out there that are beautiful games.
All PlayStation exclusives.
Oh, I picked up the Spider-Man. DLC.
I haven't played it yet. I haven't played the base.
I haven't played the DLC, but I've picked it up. I'm ready.
I'm
Would
ready
you like
for
my
Spider-Man
review
in my
of the
life.
DLC?
Yeah.
Did you do a review?
At least
No,
I tried.
I'm going to do it right here live.
Oh.
You heard it here first, guys. This is an exclusive.
Oh.
Because I played it on stream, the DLC, right? Like the stories, the 3 of them.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the first 2 and I hated the last.
Wait, which one's the last one? Is it the Catwoman one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Catwoman's
Right,
not in it.
Catwoman's DC, right?
I thought there was like City of Night or something.
You're talking about Black Cat. Very close.
That's the one.
So Catwoman's definitely not in Marvel, but
no, that's definitely DC.
That would be a great crossover.
I don't know.
That would
I don't
be.
know if you've
I'd enjoy
noticed,
that.
but I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Is it because of your education system?
15,
that was in the
conversation.
pre-show. We had a conversation about the American versus British.
And how the
school
American
system.
education system is really bad.
So the third one's
So
Silver
was ours.
Lining.
Yeah.
There's the heist with not Catwoman. Then there's Turf
Black Cat.
Wars.
Not
then-
Catwoman.
Not Catwoman.
With not Catwoman.
With not
Yeah.
Catwoman.
And then there's Turf Wars and then Silver Lining. I haven't played any of them yet. I bought them because I think it was literally the podcast with you because I was saying about like I'm just about to finish Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I
And
did
you
get
said it might be your first platinum.
I did get the platinum.
There you go.
It was an easy one, right? Because you shot Elliott down. Elliott was like, I think I might go for the plat, and you were like, that's like the easiest plat you could ever get. Ever.
Yeah, because you're like, I might get my first platinum ever, and I was like, is it Spider-Man? And you were like, how did you know?
So
it's a baby plat.
Because
This
it's
is
easy.
before I knew that you could get some of the stuff in New Game Plus. So it's like you have to unlock everything for one of the achievements, and one of the things you have to do for that is all these challenges.
Yeah.
One of the challenges was the last thing I needed to do to unlock the last costume. And I just could not get the perfect on it, like the highest score. I was getting really wound up about it. And I was talking to a friend and he goes, you don't know you could just start New Game Plus and you can just do the easy ones again and you get the tokens. And I was like, you can do what? So I just New Game Plussed it. And then it was like the first challenge I did. It was just like, oh, got the token, unlocked the last costume, next meme.
Next plat.
Next
plat. So yeah, I got it done, and I was just like, I did a platinum, and they went,
well, congratulations.
But Plat told me it's the dumb one that only babies.
No, not dumb. Just like, I think it's a 3 on the difficulty scale out of 10.
Oh, what's a 1? Can I go for a 1?
Yeah, well, ones
Those
are
meme
like
games, like
the 10-minute platinums.
Yeah,
like there's like games
like
where you can,
Barbie's
play
Dream House.
Isn't there literally some games that are made just to be easy plats for people to bump their number up?
I believe so.
Yeah, like little sort of like not match 3 games, but you know games where you got like move the pictures around and stuff. And a lot of them, you win one level and you get a plat, and people are like they literally just sell because people want more platinum trophies. So it's like you know, like $5 games or whatever.
I might dive back into God of War and try and do more of that because the last time I was playing it, the last time I did it, I was doing the Valkyrie Council, and oh my god, they are tough. Like it's the combat though, because the combat's so fun. I don't mind doing.
I think you would like it.
Fighting the same thing over and over.
I probably would. It's just it was.
I think you'd have a lot of fun with it.
Last year,
oh, my copy's digital. Otherwise, I'd lend you mine. I want to lend you Sekiro.
I could get them all now. I was literally about to say
my
last year, because I was streaming full time without another job. I just didn't have the money for all the new releases.
Without
I missed a lot. Without job. Yeah, I know. Again, there's so many jokes. People are like, why are they like, what is this? But it was all in the pre-show. We need to just record the pre-show.
I'm making fun of British speak.
yeah, it's true. It's true. You what, mate? But yeah, I
would never take the mick out of an American accent. I would never do that because Grumpy hadn't pressed record when I did it.
Again, I actually thought about taking some clips from the pre-show and putting it into like an outtakes video.
That'd be fun.
But every week, because I've been really limited on hard drive space until today, because I just bought a new one, I've just been having to delete the videos as I've been going along. So
we can just reenact it.
Yeah.
New hard drive, so now we can keep them.
Yeah. I just bought a 4 terabyte hard drive, so I have it. I can get rid of all of those off my hard drive and. Yeah, it's boring. It's fine. But anyway, let's move on to the main topic of today, shall we? Because this is one that I think we're all going to do a collective sigh over.
Next news.
Next bullshit news topic. Right.
Because now we can curse.
I just dropped my pen as well.
Are we a third way through? Do you want to borrow mine?
I'm sure we are.
Yeah, thanks. No. So, politicians and Trump. Sorry, American politicians and Trump. I'm not sure which is worse of those two.
Yes.
They've been
Wait,
spouting some
all
rubbish.
of America today.
Why
Yes,
would you
Platt
say
is our
American
designating
politicians and
American.
Trump as the president who's clearly a politician?
Yeah, but he's also a president. So a president out of, you know.
He
all
is
four of them.
our president.
Yeah, no, he's the president. So he is a politician, but he's also president. So politicians and the president.
Hashtag not my president because I'm
Basically,
English.
all of those American
I mean,
blokes.
you're
in
not
power-
wrong.
It's true. All of those American blokes in power have been talking rubbish again. And now usually this wouldn't be news because they talk rubbish on a daily basis, just like our politicians do. It's fine.
It's
However,
surprise mechanics.
yeah. However, today
I forgot about that.
we didn't. Today, well, not today, but this week they've taken it back to gaming.
Yes.
They've just decided they want to pick on the gamers again. So if you haven't heard the news, there's been, as there have been in the last several years in America, there has been I don't want to call it an epidemic, but there has been a worrying trend of shootings and mass shootings.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever you want to.
It's
Yeah,
real bad.
it is bad. I mean, I don't want to get into a gun debate. There are good points on both sides of that argument. The point
Yeah.
is that people are getting shot in America, and it's
Yeah.
something that is bad.
Like
of course.
at an unsettling amount.
Yeah, a scary amount for a lot of people. And everybody agrees that this is bad. This is not what we want to happen. However, there are a lot of people that have some pretty good arguments on maybe why this is happening and why this seems to be increasing. And there's lots of, you know, good, credible arguments. There's been a lot of research been done on this. But something that gets repeatedly brought up in history about what could be a potential cause for mass shootings is the video games. Because apparently everybody who plays video games is just an absolute violent person. I nearly said something else then. So, if you haven't heard the news, Trump came out in the middle of a press conference and directly... Wow. Wow. I was not expecting that.
I was confused.
I was worried.
Like,
My
we
life
lost
flashed
Elliott.
before my eyes then. I was like, what is he showing? Like, what is he... Oh, God. Yeah, if you haven't heard the news, Trump got up in the middle of a press conference.
How dare you make light of this serious
Exactly,
topic,
Elliot.
Elliott.
This is a serious business.
I literally couldn't help myself.
Honestly, I'm offended. Anyway,
I'm gonna sue you.
oh God, more pre-show jokes. Jeez.
Just so
Sorry.
many inside jokes.
Sorry.
Guys, you'll have to tune in next week to the outtakes video. Anyway, Trump directly said video games are causing violence. And this is something that's been said before. It's not the first time somebody in a position of power has turned around and blamed video games for causing violence or causing violent tendencies. But what's really interesting is that a few years ago when people were saying this, people were saying maybe there's a point, maybe there's some credibility to it. However, since then, there has been many studies that have come out that have said that no, there is no correlation, let alone any causation between playing video games and being violent. And on top of that, there are no studies that are saying that there is a correlation or a causation between playing video games and violence. So when we have this situation, and again, as a scientist, I did psychology at university. As a scientist, just because something hasn't been proven yet doesn't mean it's not true, or just because something has been proven doesn't mean it necessarily is true, right? However, when there are no studies that can find a genuine link between video games and violent tendencies, and there are lots that don't find a link, you kind of have to err on the side of maybe this isn't the problem that we need to be dealing with. But not only are we listening to this rubbish again, but this time certain companies are actually starting to listen to it and take action. So there was that a lot of people are talking about, and most people just basically did a collective sigh like, ugh, this again. But this time around, Walmart in particular decided to remove signage, they're calling it. They sent an order from head office or wherever to the stores to remove any violent video game signage from their stores and to remove any violent video game demos from their stores. What do you guys think about this? Do you think Walmart do you think they're right to do this? Do you think they're worried? Do you think this is a worrying sign?
I mean, as a business, they're able to make business decisions. Like, regardless of how we feel about the topic, I don't think we can say, how dare you?
Yeah, of course.
They're the ones losing profit, not selling a game.
Yeah. Which, when you bring that up, is a good point. They actually still are selling the games. They're just taking away signage.
They're not advertising.
They're not promoting
the same
them.
way as In
So
this
it's just
country, we're not
on the
allowed to
shelf,
advertise
not
smoking.
on the like caddy, essentially.
Well, the signage. So I'm imagining they're taking away any sort of
Posters
buy
and
Call
stuff.
of Duty or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like they're taking away advertisements, they're taking away demos, so you can't see the violent video games, but they're still on the shelf to buy. You know, they're still on the shelf alongside Crash Team Racing, which is now, you know, inappropriately
Yeah.
labeled because it now has gambling in it. Well, not gambling, but in-game microtransactions in it.
Well, still, you're losing that marketing though, which
Yeah.
means you probably have a decrease in profits for whatever reason. So again,
Yeah.
they're losing money.
Losing sales. Absolutely. For me, I just find it kind of worrying. You know, Walmart is a big company. Of course, we don't have Walmart over here, but you know, Walmart is a big company. We have Asda, same thing. They're a big company, and to see a big company react in this way is a little bit worrying, because usually when companies do this, it means either they know something that we don't, in which case something's happening, you know, in the future, or it means that they as a company are starting to maybe change the way that they behave. And in the case of Walmart, you know, like, just as an example, if they started withdrawing violent video games from sale, that could really affect us as gamers, you know, that really could. And you might be sat there thinking, oh, well, it's fine, I'll just buy them anyway, I'll buy them somewhere else, and that's absolutely fine. But this could set a precedent, and we've already seen little bits of news of people that there's some people that are trying to make pacifist games. People are trying to make games that have no violence. And by the way, I'm all for that. I'm all for a different mix and range of video games with different genres and different, you know, like some games being non-violent is totally okay, and some games being violent is totally okay. You know, you choose what you want to play.
That's what ratings are for.
Exactly. 100%. Exactly. You're right. Like, that is what ratings are for. And we know that the ratings board is not the best. The ESRB is not 100%, but it's there as a guideline. It's to say, hey, if you don't want violence, don't buy that game. You know, if you don't want drug use, don't play that game. If you don't want microtransactions, just double check, because it's probably in that game, even though we said it's not in that game. Can you see I'm still angry about last week? Anyway,
just a touch. You're giving away a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a weird one. And you're right, Plat. You're absolutely right. You know, Walmart can do whatever they want. It's their business. They can do whatever they want if they want to do that. And I can see why they're wanting to do that. Though, you know, it's a good example is Game in the UK, which is pretty much the leading video game store. It's pretty much the only video game store anymore, anyway, in the UK. A few years ago, when there was a controversy about Manhunt, I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was a real big controversy about a game called Manhunt, because that was an ultra violent video game. It was, by the way, it was quite a fun video game, but it was ultra violent. And a couple of press people got hold of it like years after it came out and were like, oh, this is really bad. And Game were like, oh, we'll stop selling it then. And then they did, and then they started selling it again later on after all the news had died down. But anyway, my point is, you know, companies can do whatever they want, but it also is worrying when a company that large is listening to politicians who are saying utter crap. You know, they're saying things that aren't based in any science, based in any evidence, but yet now Walmart are acting upon it. And I really hope that other people don't act upon it, you know? Like, I mean, again, do what you want as a company. If you don't want to sell violent video games, don't do it. But if you're listening to Trump and politicians who are quoting nothing, you know, just opinions, essentially, then it's not good, is it? It's not clever.
I mean, I feel like there is a chance that in the modern day culture of, like, obviously we have this big council culture, and there are people who spend their entire day on Twitter looking for things to be outraged by. Yeah. That maybe Walmart just getting a jump on it. Like, they know that it's like, cool. Trump's come out and said violent video games make people violent, and one of the causes for, like, violent things happen in the world. We may as well just take it all down, because we know someone at some point is going to be like, well, I went into Walmart the other day and they had a big Apex Legends sign out, and that game has guns in it. And it's just like, I think someone in Walmart was just like, oh, someone's going to be a dick about this. Let's just take down the posters. We can keep selling the games. We can keep doing this, but it stops that outrage before the outrage happens.
I wonder like where the line is, because I'm pretty sure in Apex there's like no blood. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Apex is very cartoony. It's very cartoony violence. It is,
and
right,
it's like
no blood.
You're a robot, you know, as one of the heroes or whatever they're called, legends, I think. Like where's the line? Because I don't think of Apex as very
it's not graphic. Yeah, it's not graphic. It's not ultra violent. It's
like even Overwatch has a splash of blood.
So like in the Jedi Fallen Order, the new Star Wars game that's coming out. In the combat with that, there is dismemberment and stuff, but only of droids and animals. So you have a lightsaber. If you cut through a stormtrooper, they don't like fall in half. You can't take their head off or anything.
Yeah.
And I'd noticed in Shadow of War, you can literally like some of they call them executions. It's like if you get enough of a combo up, you can literally just insta kill an enemy.
Yeah.
Some of those, like you cut their heads off stuff, but the blood is green, and they aren't human. They are like orcs or uruk or whatever. So like,
whoa! Are you saying orcs aren't people too? Did we just see some casual speciesism on?
Wow,
the podcast?
We don't care about elves who
I'm actually
fell
half
into
orc.
the dark.
All
and
right, Netflix
grew up in
original
the
Bright.
dirt.
Calm down. Like,
all right, they had a hard childhood. How dare you?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? They're angry because they were abused. You know.
But I know there's definitely games who have gotten around ESRB ratings based purely on making blood green or blue or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You can literally just change the color palette of the violence, and the ESRB are just like, oh, that's fine then. It's like you just shot a guy's head off with a shotgun, but blue stuff came out, so that's
China
okay.
servers for PUBG.
Yeah.
The blood is green because they're not allowed to show blood on screen or something.
Exactly. I mean, that's a whole topic for another day with China's censorship and the way that a lot of companies are moving towards that. But
I just found that fascinating.
Speaking of China, that's a really good example of this. This has been quoted a few times by different sources. There's a little graphic going around that shows the countries that have video games and how many, how much people spend on video games per person, like per month or whatever. And how many like gun shootings happen, and this is a specifically United States problem. Like the UK has a huge video game industry, like massive for our size, and yet we don't have the same problem. South Korea is the biggest, I think it was Korea, or just Korea in general, is the biggest video game market apparently, which surprised me. I thought it was China, and they don't have this problem. It's a uniquely American problem. And that's even just more evidence to say, hey, it's you're looking at links here. And a lot of people have sort of theorized, and I also believe this too, that maybe they're just using video games as a scapegoat. Because if we're talking about video games and we're defending video games, we're not arguing about gun control. And that's essentially what this boils down to, is that you had this big argument about gun control. And again, I'm not going to argue for or against, whatever, right? But you had this big sort of debate about gun control, and it was getting sort of like heated. And now they've taken all that away and just pinned it on video games. And I personally think that's disgusting. I think, for an industry definitely like this to just pin it on, because imagine if that was books or movies, imagine if people were like, gun crime is because of Macbeth. Like no one would believe it. But because video games are still so new, and so many parents are scared at the moment because of, stories about Fortnite addiction and stories about loot boxes and all of these negative press, people still haven't caught up with video games yet. They don't fully understand them. And so it's very easy for a naive person, which, let's be honest, there are a lot of naive people out there. Look at Facebook as an example, right?
Yeah.
Like Facebook
look
literally
at Twitter for 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Or YouTube comments.
Exactly, right? So knowing that there are a lot of naive people out there that don't really know much about the video game industry, I could see how they could absolutely believe, if politicians are standing up going, it's all the video games, it must be that. I can see how they can believe that. And that's what worries me.
So I do think your argument has a lot of validity, and I do agree with it a smidgen. The only thing I would say is that this has been an issue for a really, really, really long time. Like, I always go back whenever this conversation comes up. I always go back to Bowling for Columbine, like the Michael Moore documentary, because there was the shooting at the high school, and that was, I think it came. It was a few years ago or whatever, and it was like way before like they ever blamed video games, and so the situation back then was they blamed music. Yeah. And I don't know how old I was, or that movie is definitely about gun control and stuff like that. Is that where
the whole like guns don't kill people rappers do thing came from? Like,
no, yeah, I think it was, but the music was
band.
Yeah, but like I think there was a point there.
They were blaming Marilyn Manson specifically, so I don't know about rappers, but like they were blaming like music and Marilyn Manson because that's the music that the guys listened to who shot up the high school, and so. I don't know if it's necessarily like, let's pin it on video games so that way we don't need to talk about gun control. I think it's much more of a we want to figure this out. and it can't, and I guess they just can't wrap their heads around
Here's
that.
the thing, though,
might
like,
be gun control.
If they were trying to figure it out, then surely they'd be looking at the scientific evidence. And if they're looking at the scientific evidence, they would know that there is no scientific link between video games and violence. And the increase, this is what people are saying, there's an increase and there's got to be a reason for it. And well, what else has increased? Oh, video games. That is a spurious correlation. And that means that something that can be correlated, that something could be linked to something else, but actually there is nothing there. There's the best example of a spurious correlation is that more ice creams get sold on a Wednesday, right? This was a correlation that was thrown out as an example years ago, and it was a true correlation. More ice creams are sold on a Wednesday. Why? There is no reason why. It's a spurious correlation, right? There are so many things. Like, go and Google, literally go and Google spurious correlations, right? Because there are so many that are true correlations that mean nothing.
There's no reason.
There's no reason, but that's like how statistics works. There can be a link to something, but that doesn't, and that's why we say correlation doesn't equal causation. And this is what's happening here. But the problem and the danger, and this happens with psychology all the time. The danger is if something sounds a little bit right, people will believe it. And again,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like back then it was music, because it's like, this stuff is, and it's like you see these naive people. I'm not saying they want to know an answer, but I'm not saying they're going to go out and try to find the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think it's definitely all these politicians and America as a whole are like, why is this happening? It must be this video games. It must be music. It must be movies, because I remember a theater there was a shooting at a theater for the beginning of the latest Batman. Like the Nolan, and he was dressed up as if he was like from the Matrix, so like or the Joker, sorry. And so it's like people, and we talked about this, a little show, like people are just shit. Like
it's like, true.
I don't think, and we were talking about this, like it's not one thing, it's just certain people latch on to something. Like somebody could latch onto a movie and just like go crazy. Someone can latch onto a book, someone can latch onto a song, someone can and it's not necessarily as a whole.
But the thing is, like, let me give you just a really good example off the top of my head here, right? Like, if we were to look at people who do things like shootings and then go, how many of them drink coffee or consume caffeine, there'd probably be a massive correlation between those people and drinking caffeine. Do you know why? Because most Americans drink caffeine.
Most people drink caffeine.
So this is what I'm saying, but this is the danger that we have, is that people will believe anything that sounds to be a smidgen true. And
Absolutely.
but we're running the risk at the moment of that this could, again, this is politicians we're talking about. This isn't just Joe in his back room just talking about shit, right?
This is people with influence over our government.
Influence and power. And who knows? Trump might turn around and go, right, we're banning certain games, and that's not what we want, and that's not what we need, and that's going to harm our industry. And I am really concerned that it's going to get to a point of where we are actually, hampering artistic expression, because for me, I love horror games, right? And some people hate horror games, and some people are like, oh god, they're disgusting, right? I love horror games. I know you don't, but this is what I'm saying. So should we ban horror games because some people don't like it? Like, as a consumer, it is our choice what we consume, what content we consume. And I know, for example, that I can play a game that has loot boxes in it and not get addicted to gambling, whereas some people can't. And that's kind of our choice. And I feel like there is nothing wrong with games being violent. I feel like I've played violent video games my entire life and I am fine. And I think many, many other people have. You're also kind of right, though, we said in the pre-show that like some people are going to use violent video games as a catalyst, but you could say that about movies.
You can say that about anything.
Or audiobooks. Do you know what I mean?
Or even just a person. Like an influencer. Yeah,
exactly. And this is the danger, but it seems to be that video games get blamed and pinned on all the time. Like every single time they get blamed for it, and there's nothing to support the theory. There's nothing. There's no evidence.
Yeah. I mean, I think in a few years it'll be something else.
Yeah, I hope so, because I feel like video games have
well, no, I don't hope so. I hope we figure out our shit
also
and we don't shoot people. Like,
I mean, that would be the perfect scenario, but
like, it's really scary that like when I go to the mall, I think about that. Like, I think about just someone wants to shoot someone for I don't even know why. I don't think they even know why. It's like, it's really scary.
Yeah.
And it's just awful. And going back to like you said, like country, it's America specific.
Yeah.
In the documentary, he talks about how Detroit and Michigan is literally like the most murders per capita, which is like, and it's like way over. It's ridiculous. And then like we have like the lake, and then it's a Canada Providence. And so you literally can like see the city on a clear day. That's how close they are. And yet their murder per capita is like way low, kind of thing. And he talked about, he talked about gun control, but it's just like mind boggling to me that it's so different. And it's like, what is the differences? And it's awful.
Yeah. I mean, we could argue and speculate about what the problem is. I mean, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I have my own suspicions and I have my own theories. But it's a very political sort of debate, and we don't really do politics as much on this show. But what we do is we cover video game news, and this is something that affects any gamers. Because if this doesn't get sorted out in 5 years' time, like Call of Duty could be banned. Your favorite game could be banned. Even Fortnite has violence in it. That's shooting, right? That could be banned.
Yeah. So, well, I'm even thinking of my favorite game, Last of Us, because that's super violent.
Really dark
in its own
and gritty,
way.
But it's a story.
It's a story, and the violence benefits the story.
Exactly.
That's what makes it so. I mean, it's all about survival. It's all about survival's guilt.
It is showing the darkest side of humanity, and that's part of the reason why I love that game.
It's not The Last of Us as in the last of humans on Earth. It's The Last of Us as in the last of our humanity. You know
exactly.
And so, and the second one looks even like way more violent.
Yeah.
But that's what made that game so crazy. Like I literally saw a 14-year-old Ellie die like several times. It's awful. Like
there's
if you
a scene in that game, and I don't really want to spoil anything just in case anyone's never played it. If you haven't played it, go play it. God damn it. But there's a scene in that.
You're spoiling like a really old game.
I know, but I still here's the thing: if somebody spoiled it for me and I hadn't got around to playing it yet, I'd be annoyed. But yeah, there's a scene in that game, and you'll know exactly what scene I'm talking about. There's a scene in that game that is really, really heart-wrenchingly violent and also highly emotional. It concerns Ellie, and I will remember that scene forever because it was one of the most sort of memorable scenes of a thing, because it's really hard to explain the situation, but essentially Ellie at that point is at her breaking point, and it's like her first kill, isn't it? Like her first real kill, in that way anyway. And you see this sort of like culmination of character development, and you see all the emotion, and you see the suffering that she's going through, and the pure sort of raw emotion that she's in it. I sound like David Cage, like emotion, but it's true, and that is so integral to the story, in my opinion. And I think that is going to carry on. I actually spoke about this ages ago, that I've got a theory that like that character arc is what is carrying on into the second game, with especially the trailer with the first teaser trailer dropped with Ellie kind of dripping blood over a guitar kind of thing. So I do think but that was an ultra violent scene, but it was one of the best scenes in a game I've ever played.
But and again, it's not violent for violence sake.
No,
it's violence for character development, and
exactly.
It's just, that game's the best game in the world.
I love that game. I want to replay it now. God damn it.
I've never played it.
I love it. You've never played The Last of Us.
I will watch every minute of your VOD.
I played like the first 20 minutes once, and I was like, yeah, it's fine.
It starts off very
really
slow.
Got me.
It starts off very slow. It does. I will.
Like, I get that I need to I probably do need to sit down and be like, cool, I'll finish this
I don't know how you're not hooked in the first cutscene.
That game, I was going to say, that game has for me, there are more than three, but there are three really sort of key moments of that game that are in my opinion, the best three moments of any video game ever. There's the first scene, which obviously we know what you're talking about. There's the Ellie scene that I've just talked about, and then there is the final. Well, no. This is two. There's two at the end. There's the final scene, and then there's the final scene. There's the final scene in the elevator with the lie, and then there's the final scene with the lie. If that makes sense.
I get chills every time I watch it.
I do. The story was so good, and this is what I'm saying. But that game is ultra violent, but it makes sense, and that's a masterpiece of a game. So imagine the future without The Last of Us 2, because that's the potential that we're talking here.
If we
Exactly.
had green blood in
Do you
Last
know-
of Us, I'd be like, what?
Exactly. Do you know what the irony the irony? Do you know what the irony is here though? Is like
Irony.
if they were to ban like violence in video games, there would be a riot. Like there would actually be a riot. Which is kind of ironic because we're saying that video games don't cause violence, but if you take away the
Yeah.
violence, it could cause some violence.
'Cause
Not that I condone
again,
that, but
There are games that just have violence for violence sake.
yeah, there are. You know, there are
And
games that are
because
gross.
it's fun.
Yeah, there was
You
a
know, kinda
game
thing.
on Steam that we physically can't name because of YouTube policies, but there was a game on Steam that came out a few months ago that was just an absolutely gross game for the sake of being gross. And
Mhm.
you know, I've said before, I fully 100% stand by that any game is valid and any game can be made. I don't stand by that any game should be sold on a public platform like Steam though, but
Sure.
there's also a point where you go, are you just being gross for the sake of being gross? You know, like,
Yeah.
it's the same with any literature work though, like any like
No,
books
I
are
think
the same
that of
thing.
movies too, constantly. I'm
exactly.
Like, this
There are some
gore is-
movies, exactly. There are some movies that are just trying to be, you
Yeah.
know, shocking. And that, again, that's fine, but that doesn't make it a good product. But to sort of round off this whole mess of a topic, this has been said many times, you know, that video games cause violence. It's never been proven. It will never be proven because if it wasn't true
Mhm.
10 years ago, it's not true now, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope that they get over it. I hope that they move on and realize that it isn't that. And I agree with you, Pat. I hope they do figure out what is causing it and that we can work on that. But for now, just leave our goddamn video games alone, all right?
Yeah. Especially Last of Us 2. After Last of Us 2, if they're done making sequels.
No, because you never know what's coming out next, Pat. Don't
I
say
mean,
that.
it's come at a really bad time because obviously the new Call of Duty at the moment, there's journos everywhere just being like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just a type of violent and you can
Yeah.
use white phosphorus.
Well,
and
this is the same thing though. In
And
that,
it's just
in
like,
that,
oh, this happening at the same time as video games causing violence is not a good thing.
yeah, exactly. But from what I can tell from
Bad
Call of
timing.
Duty, they've gone for that dark and gritty realism. And I said this when we talked about Call of Duty after E3, that I would love a Call of Duty that doesn't glorify war. Because Call of Duty has been glorifying
Yeah.
war for years now. So for a Call
Yeah.
of Duty to condemn it would be amazing. Like I would love that kind of
Yeah.
story. Again, I'm not having a go at the military here, but like warfare's
No.
not a nice thing for anybody involved, right? So a Call of Duty game that has previously glorified war to come along and go, do you know what, guys, war ain't nice, would be great, and I'm looking forward to that. So again,
It should
now
be interesting.
now we have a problem with Call of Duty journos. This is why video game journalism is dying. But anyway, moving on to the
He
next topic.
says he's a prospective video game journalist.
No, I'm not a journalist. I am a content creator.
We report on
He's
video
a
game
YouTuber.
news.
I am
He's
actually a
like-
content creator. If you will just
Oh,
It's
down.
different.
just back
I'm
down.
a content creator. How dare
Content
you
creator.
limit me to one platform?
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly. No, it's okay.
Content creation's the new mainstream.
Well, I just don't like the term influencer. I had this conversation before. I just don't like the term.
Oh yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
I
tacky.
Content
actively
creator for
tell
sure.
people not to follow my advice.
It's true. It's true.
How dare you influence them like that, Elliot?
Yeah, stop influencing me. God damn it. But no, moving on to the next topic. This one's a bit of a I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one. There's the Borderlands 3 Take 2 2K. Take 2? 2K?
2K.
Yes, I heard there's
2K?
drama. Inform me.
There is drama if you haven't heard. If anybody hasn't heard the
They're going to
story,
send people to our house.
they are. They're going to send the goons to us. But no, there was
Oh yeah, by the way, Platt, we're getting
That would scare the shit out of me.
well, so this is
if like a
this is what
berserker guy
happened.
comes to my house.
A
Oh, God.
berserker?
No,
Yeah.
they're not sending in-game characters to our house.
I was gonna say, they're
Oh.
not sending Vikings.
They're
Oh, my
sending
God.
they're sending real people to your
Yeah,
house
actual people to your
to
house.
try and dig up
That
news
also
on you or
scares
something. I
me,
don't
but
know.
it's a little bit better than some maniac running up to my door.
Ah!
He's just like, kill the pig, spill our blood. I'd be like, oh my God.
Whoa,
Please don't.
that's the
To be
channel
fair,
demonetized.
the berserkers have some
It's
great
from Lord of
lines.
the Flies. It's a freaking classic.
Yeah, you tell that to YouTube. They
YouTube don't
Yeah,
care.
they don't give a shit. Anyway, so
You
the
can edit
news
it out.
the news broke that I forgot his name now. What's the YouTuber called? What's his name?
PewDiePie.
I can't remember. Yeah, it was
No.
PewDiePie.
Rooster Teeth.
It was not PewDiePie.
His
here it
name's
is, here it is.
Rooster
Rooster
another
Teeth.
Supmato. There we go. So there's a YouTuber called Supmato. I'll be honest, I never heard of him before this news. Maybe this news is good for him. Who knows? But essentially, this YouTuber has been apparently for quite a while, has been leaking Borderlands news. Apparently, according to this article that we read on PC Gamer, that he essentially figured some stuff out. He got his detective hat on and like figured some stuff out, put some, 2 and 2s together and got 4s and all that. And he has been leaking that information to the general public before Borderlands 3 wanted it to, essentially.
Okay.
And so that happened, and there was some YouTube videos made. This person had a YouTube channel, and so Take-Two, I keep saying Take-Two, it's not Take-Two, it's 2K. It's too difficult, it's two similar names. 2K
Sounds like you're editing and you're redoing this news. Take-Two.
No, we don't. Yeah, Take-Two. We don't edit. We just leave it raw. But no, 2K not only falsely copyright striked a lot of his videos to essentially try and get his channel demonetized and taken down, because if you get enough, you risk losing your channel.
Oh, yeah.
So not only did they do that, they also sent some private investigators to go and dig up some dirt on him, essentially.
Well, apparently the private investigators, basically asked him a load of questions. So it's not like they were we're going through his bins or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
They knocked on the door and they were like, we need to know some stuff.
Yeah.
So if
Which
I'm
is
understanding
still
this correctly, they're punishing him for doing investigative journalism.
Kind of.
He's a content creator.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Kind of. Essentially, what they're saying and what they're claiming is that it's their
he was
intellectual
smart
property,
and
and
figured it
he is leaking information on it prematurely. So he's leaking, essentially. But you're right. It's investigative journalism.
But is
Whether
it
we like
that
it
he
or love it.
figured things out and these were theories, or did he hack
He
into their
apparently had a
stuff?
source. He apparently had a source, and he
Okay.
also figured some stuff out. Again, according to the article,
Yeah.
he had a source and he figured some stuff out as well, and he's been leaking that as facts.
So in a video he released, he acknowledged sharing information that hadn't been officially revealed, but he said he came by the information honestly and that it was also available in other sources.
Yeah.
Is exactly what he said.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well,
But
it's
games companies don't like it because they want to be the ones that release their
this
info.
is where it comes to, isn't it? It's like
But
anything.
It gives you publicity. It's literally free publicity.
Yep. It's
Especially if it goes viral.
yeah, which I mean I was
Well,
going to
You're
say
not
this
even
was
paying
giving
for this marketing.
this
is
was
good
giving
for you.
Borderlands some publicity, but now it's been giving some Borderlands some very, very negative publicity. In fact, some people have been
Right.
saying that they're not going to buy Borderlands, which I'll be honest, people say that about everything.
Yeah.
You can tweet "Hello, have a good day," and somebody be like, "Oh, I'm boycotting you now."
I'm offended.
Yeah, I'm
How dare
offended.
you.
How
It is
I'm a
nighttime
night person.
I identify as nocturnal, so actually they're quite triggering for
Exactly.
me.
I'm actually a cat, so I only come out at night, and now you've annoyed me. But no, we joke, but it's true. People always say they're going to boycott stuff, and honestly, people that say they're going to boycott stuff are usually people that weren't going to buy the game anyway. However, it is really interesting that 2K, I nearly said it again. 2K seemed to be in a lot of people's.
Take-Two and 2K that work on it, so just you say whatever.
I was right. There we go. I
It is
actually
both.
was right. There we go. Cool.
Just don't say take 4.
No, don't take any more than 2. But yeah, so it's
Next take.
more takes. A lot of people are kind of unhappy with what they see as an overreach from a company. This is a single guy who works for himself versus a big, large company. And a lot of people see it as kind of almost like a bullying tactic. They're bullying him out of doing what he's doing. And I don't know. I can kind of see both sides of this argument. I absolutely can see how it looks like this companies are bullying a single dude who's just trying to, break some news. And let's be honest, this kind of stuff's only going to get worse because anyone who has the news first gets big on YouTube. That's how it works. If you're the first person to break a news story, you get the clicks.
He's probably a really big fan of the game, and that's why he was into it in the first place.
Yeah, well, he said he was going to make
shut him
content
down.
on Borderlands 3, and he's now not sure if he's going to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, probably wouldn't if a company seems to be threatening you, because that's what a lot of people kind of. I don't want to say they misreported this, but there's been a lot of buzz saying that that 2K
they sent around the goons with some weapons.
Yeah, they sent people to intimidate him and
with weapons.
No, that's what people were saying. People were saying that they sent people around.
People were saying
to,
that they were
intimidate him. Yeah.
Keep it down, boy, or you'll get this business end of this here hammer.
Oh, bust a cap in your ass, see? But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Get him, boys.
Like any YouTube drama or news, it gets misquoted and it gets misrepresented.
And played up and all sorts.
Yeah, people love a drama and they love to paint somebody a bad guy. And this is kind of what's happening at the moment, with a lot of people are realizing that, and a lot of people are starting to push back against cancel culture finally.
Right.
But it's true, people love to paint somebody as a villain and then go and harass and attack that person. And in this case, it seems to be 2K But I can also see people's point that it does seem a little bit shitty from this company to sort of, not only sort of try and take his channel down, which they are clearly trying to get rid of his channel, but then also send people to physically question him, because that's stressful for anybody,
That's
you don't
so
know.
scary.
To be fair, the PIs and trying to question him stuff, like if he's saying that he has a source somewhere, then I kind of get the PI angle. If they turn up and just like, look, 2K have like hired us, we need to know where you're getting the information.
Who are you talking to?
Like if it was that, then I get it, because it's them trying to basically plug a data breach.
Yeah.
But the YouTube striking,
which here's the thing though, if that was the case, they could have just easily come out and said, hey, look, we're working with this guy to find the data breach. Done.
Yeah.
No drama.
That's how it should have been handled, in my opinion. But like,
no drama, please.
YouTube
Don't underestimate people.
needs to sort out their copywriting system, because at the moment people are weaponizing it. People have been weaponizing it since Alinity, since before then. But like,
they've been doing it for years, man.
Can't like anybody do it?
Yeah, at the moment, basically. So, by the way, just to be fair to YouTube, because, I will criticize YouTube any day of the week. I will.
Yeah.
They are trying to improve that system, and they are making it easier for creators to fight back against manual claims. They are putting that into place for a lot of people, and I agree. A little bit too little too late, and I think they need to really take a hard stance against it, because usually there are two reasons why people abuse the copyright strike system on YouTube. One is to make money by taking your ad revenue for the first month, essentially, of the the video. And
Wait,
the other
hold
one.
on, explain that. So if
essentially,
you do a copyright claim, do you get their money?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you do a copyright, yeah. So
let's be honest, if I went into a shop and said this stock's mine now and started selling it to people taking their money, I would be arrested instantly.
For anybody who doesn't know how this works, let me just explain how this works. So
please,
if any company does a copyright strike against your video, copyright claim, against your video, because a strike and a claim are different. If they do a copyright claim against your video, essentially the advert gets put on top of your video, whether you're monetized or not, and you then have to appeal it, right? And if you appeal it, they then have 30 days to respond to that appeal. And there's two ways they can respond with it. They can either take you to court, which most times if against a false copyright claim, they're going to lose. So they can either take you to court or they can drop it. But here's the problem. As anybody who does YouTube knows, the majority of your views and clicks come within the first 24 to 40 hours of your video. And then it's a very steep drop off. So 30 days worth of lost ad revenue means you've lost the majority, if not all of the money of that video. So they've already got what they want. So most people who do this just leave it 30 days and then go, oh yeah, sure, cool, we'll drop it. And this has been going on for a very, very long time. But this is what I'm saying. There are two ways of people doing this. They abuse it for that reason, so they can make money off your video, or they do it to take action against your channel. Because if you get enough of these, you essentially could get your channel removed from, if you get enough copyright strikes, you can get your channel removed. And I believe in this case, they were copyright striking, not copyright claiming. A claim just means I want your ad revenue. A strike means we're taking action against your video, essentially. So,
and I'm assuming you need a claim that this is my content that they're using.
Well, here's the thing, though. We know, in theory, yes, we know that's a load of tosh, though, because there have been videos.
And then if they drop it, no one gets the money.
No. If they drop it, they keep what they've got. I'm sure.
So YouTube changed it recently, where if you copyright claim, so basically the money then goes into like a pot that's held by YouTube, and then when it gets resolved,
ages ago that they should have done that. I said this a long time ago.
They did change it a while back, because there were literally people who were just like copyright claiming videos.
There was a really good video I watched. Revenue. Yeah. There was a really good video I watched that somebody copyright, because you've got to provide like what part of the video, what specific part of the video infringes on your copyright, and what copyright is it, right? And there's somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody uploaded a video that got copyright claimed, and they literally said, what is the copyright infringement? And it was something stupid like a processor, like a computer processor. Like the copyright infringement literally said, like, let's just say as an example, right?
Yeah.
Intel like i5. And they were like, I don't even have that processor. Like how? And they were like, how? But the copyright still went through. And it was like and half the time these are happening, they're like companies like the YouTube channels that don't even exist. There's just somebody made an account to do this shit. So there are two ways of that. There's that, and then there is like as Elliott said, the weaponized version of this, where people do it just to harm your channel, to harm your revenue. Yeah. And by the way, as well, it is, I don't know if it's proven fact, but it kind of is, that if you have a copyright claim on your video, the algorithm doesn't pick it up as much, and so you don't get as many views, you don't get as much growth. So
there's a big drama going on at the moment
that
where
makes
there
sense,
is,
but the way it's being used That's not good.
Yeah.
So there's a YouTuber at the moment who he put up a load of videos being really critical of this other YouTuber.
Yeah.
So the other YouTuber just started copyright striking him because then it hides his videos.
Companies have done that too. Companies have done that in the past
algorithm.
before.
That's what I was thinking. Is like you would copyright your competitors.
Yeah, exactly.
If
which
you
is not right.
wanted to stoop that far down.
I mean, all they need to do is stop punishing fake copyright claims.
Like, they do. They absolutely do. Yeah, 100%.
So all they have to do is make it so like, oh, you fake copyright claimed 2,000 videos, banned. You're now not allowed to copyright stuff.
Right. The problem with that though is I don't legally think they can because because you have a right to your intellectual property. Well,
so like,
it's not even that. It's not even that. It is the reason why we had a lot of problem with Article 13 recently is that it's YouTube as a business, they have a legal responsibility that if a company comes to them and says there is an infringement of my copyright, they have to take action. And they physically can't do that manually because of the amount of videos that are uploaded. The team they would need to deal with that would be enormous. And so they have to do it with an automated system. And if they don't legally do that, they don't do that in a legal, they could lose their license to host copyrighted content. And that's not what anybody wants, you know, like that's not what anybody wants. And so YouTube have a legal responsibility to enforce this. And the only way they can do it is with an automated system. And at the moment, the system is too easy to abuse. And that's the big problem with this. I love how this got onto a completely different topic, Borderlands.
That's how conversation works.
It is true. It is true. But it's absolutely right. You know, like the copyright system on YouTube.
I love just like the...
we get there eventually. We may meander through, but
we might go roundabout ways.
Circle back around.
Yeah, absolutely.
What were we talking about?
Borderlands 3. Borderlands.
Oh,
Submato basically now doesn't know if he has a
the
YouTube
maniac's
channel
coming
anymore.
at my door.
Absolutely, yes, that was it. Ultraviolence, yeah. But no, that was pretty much the news on that one. It's I think it's yet another case of everybody jumping on a bandwagon and lots of misinformation, lots of all of that. But at the same time, it is also one of those things that it does happen. People do get these companies coming after them, and it's kind of shitty.
I just feel bad for the dude. He's deleted his Twitter account, and he said that he's gonna he's taking a break from YouTube in order to decompress.
Yeah, I mean, he's under a lot of stress.
Well, he basically said like his plans are just to see how he feels in September, and he's like, I don't think I'm going to play the game. I don't know if I want to make videos anymore. And I'm like, poor dude. Like, he basically picked a fight with. Well, didn't even pick a fight. He worked stuff out. He reported on something that he cared about.
That's what I mean. It's like he's literally doing his job as a YouTuber, content creator, and he's getting punished for it, from a company that I'm sure he really admired at the time.
Because he said the wrong thing.
Yeah, like something they didn't like.
But how do you say it right?
You let the company have you don't make any breakthroughs. You just
let me just sort of devil's advocate for a second here.
Yeah,
imagine if you were working on something that you're really proud of and somebody found out about it and they told everybody and you weren't ready to tell them yet and they told everybody, wouldn't you be really annoyed? Do you know what I mean? Wouldn't you be really super angry?
Obviously I would be really annoyed, but I think it really depends on the reaction of the audience. If they're like, this is stupid, then I'm just like, crap. But if they're like, oh, this is so exciting, yeah, that's a great idea, then I would be like, okay, this isn't exactly how I wanted it to be. But for instance, I would have to consider the common consumer. So for instance, with Borderlands 3, I literally hadn't heard this story at all. I had only seen the new character trailer, the brawler chick, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And that was an official marketing. It wasn't this guy. And so it's I have to think about that the people who are super into the game, who physically cannot wait for more news to come from me, the maker.
Yeah.
At least they're excited about the game and I would have given this information anyway. I have to turn it into a positive because in the end, I am a company and what I do matters.
Absolutely, you're not wrong. I agree with you. However, also you got to remember that
absolutely be upset, but
there is definitely sort of a bell curve when it comes to hype, and you don't want to get people too hyped too early because then they'll get bored and move on and get So there's there are people that paid a lot of money to strategically go, right, when do we start promoting this game? When do we heavily, do that? And then it kind of messes with all of that. And I agree with you. They, as a good company, they should have come out and gone, look, right, it happened. Please stop doing it. And I don't know, maybe they did approach him and ask him to stop. Who knows?
Right.
But say, please stop doing it. We kind of want to keep it under wraps. But also now that that's out, let's get excited about it. You know, let's do the right thing. But yeah, in this case, I think maybe they went a little bit too far with it, especially with the strikes. And yeah, just be careful, guys. Look after yourself. You know, we say shit like all the time about how these companies don't give a shit about you, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, they don't. They care about making money. They don't care about you as a consumer or as a buyer of their products. They really don't give a shit. So look after yourself is the message we should all take away from this one. But yeah, moving on to the final topic. Well, probably the final topic of today. Next bullshit news story. Actually, this is not a bullshit news story. This one's a positive one. I like this one.
We've got good news.
Guys, I have a positive story about loot boxes for once. Ale fucking Luya.
The news story is Grumps loves loot boxes now.
Can we ban him?
We love surprise mechanic.
Can I ban him?
No.
You can try.
You got nothing every week.
If I don't listen to him, he doesn't exist. Anyway, there's been a little bit of news about loot boxes.
Plus, you said, people love a villain, so that's why you got to keep them.
That's true. That's true. Wait, you saying he's the villain in this scenario? I thought it was me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're the protagonist.
Sure. Oh, well,
you're an anti-hero.
Yeah.
I never get to be a villain. This is nice.
I love an anti-hero versus villain. They're the best. They're the best fights.
See?
But
what's happening with loot boxes?
All right, sorry, were we taking too long for you? Jeez.
Come on, guys. Next news.
Right. So, loot boxes. There are being more developments in this whole ongoing war, battle against loot boxes, whatever you want to call it. But essentially, Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo have come out recently saying that any loot boxes on their platforms in the future, and I guess currently, are going to have to display the odds of getting the stuff. You're going to have to show them.
There'd been some form of podcast content creator who's been saying that this is what should be done for months.
And it wasn't even me this time.
Where could this man be? He must be wiser than all of us, and we should pay him many dollars.
Because of our education system.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
That's right, folks. It's me.
It's him.
I called this so long ago.
But no, we've been talking about how loot boxes are in a bad spot at the moment. Nobody seems to like them. They're getting a lot of pushback finally, which is good. And this is really, really, you don't mind them. That's fine. Look, I've said before, anybody, if you like loot boxes, fine, but don't pretend that they're not what they are. They are gambling. They are seedy. They are insidious. They're there for a reason. They're not.
They're there to make the company money for sure.
Exactly.
I don't like them because I'm poor.
But I also never pay for it. I'm always like, it was your decision to pay for it.
Well, let's not get on this topic again, but it is until you're a gambling addict. And then once you're a gambling addict, no, it's not really a decision, is it? So anyway, but the point is that this is a real positive step, because if there are some games that want to keep them, and like I've said before, I've never been the kind of person that says they all need to be banned. They need to be handled responsibly. And this is a step towards that. It's saying, hey, look, if you want to have these loot boxes in your game, you have to be honest and upfront about the odds. And here, actually, I totally forgot to tell you guys in the pre-show, we actually have a secondary, kind of negative, but there's a secondary news story about this, that Snuggy Bun, if anyone who knows Snuggy Bun, if you don't know her, Snuggy Bun's awesome. You should know her. She's a really cool Twitch streamer. Anyway, she told me about a story that broke today, I think, which is that, I can't remember who it was, but a company was talking about loot boxes in not like an investigating setting, kind of like what happened with the UK a few weeks ago, where Epic was pulled up against in front of their parliament and talking about loot boxes. This was happening in America.
EA were pulled up.
Was it EA? Have you heard the story? Was it EA? Again, I quickly skimmed through it.
EA were the ones that got pulled up in the UK.
No, that was Epic. Yeah, EA and Epic. It was both. It was Epic and EA. Oh. Yeah. But this was recent, and they were talking about loot boxes, and the question was broached, like, do you ever change the odds of the loot boxes? And essentially they admitted, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I didn't, this was literally today that I got told this, so I can't remember.
We do only the best research for this podcast.
I didn't research this. I got thrown this like a half an hour before the podcast. Essentially,
only confirmed sources.
And I also can't check it because it's in a Discord DM, so I can't check the article. But the
Nothing but the best.
gist of it was they asked, do you ever change the odds of the loot boxes? Because we don't know.
Yeah.
We, like, when you log into Overwatch or whatever, you don't know what the odds are. They
Right.
could be changed at any time. And they admitted that in certain circumstances, or one time that we know of, some YouTubers or streamers were given the opportunity, given some loot boxes for free to open on stream as a promotional thing, and they have admitted to changing the odds for that opening. Which we've always said we know this kind of shit happens, but they've actually admitted it in basically a courtroom setting. They have admitted that they changed the loot box odds to make them more favorable, so that when the streamer opens them and gets loads of good shit and it's really happy and fun, and then you go and buy 100 of them and you get naff all.
Goddamn streamers! They just
Goddamn streamers.
Streamer loot.
And their jobs are easy, and they're just the worst.
This is again, it's not surprising. It literally didn't shock me, but it's for them to come out and admit it is, you know, it's.
Would you rather they lie about it?
I'd rather they didn't do it.
I'd rather they didn't do it. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah.
I'd rather they didn't do it. I'm glad that this stuff is coming
out.
out.
They admitted it.
I'm not mad that they admitted it. I'm mad that they did it in the first place and then didn't tell anybody about it. And then the only reason that they said it was because they were in a serious setting. Do you know what I mean? It's like only now that there's a potential like, oh, you might actually, people might lose jobs and you might get fined or people might go to jail about it. Now they're admitting it because they have to. I mean,
this smacks awfully of the T Martin and Syndicate with the CSGO skins.
Yeah.
They were going and gambling on their own website, and they were. I don't think it was ever proven that they were changing the odds when they were the ones gambling, but like people were just like they just seem to win all the time.
Well, the idea with that was
them promoting their own website, and there was
that was the shady part about that story. That was ages ago, but the shady part about that was that they were actually involved in a company and they didn't.
They
tell
owned
anybody
the
that.
Company.
Yeah, they did. They owned the company and they didn't tell anybody that. They pretended that they just found it and they promoted it without disclosing that. And there's a lot of talk about disclosures about things like sponsorships as well. That was also in the article, which I'm really gutted that I can't open up right now because there's some juicy stuff in there. But the whole gist of the article was, you know, like streamers and YouTubers should disclose if they are sponsored or if anything they are doing is being promoted. And we're getting better at that.
They had to.
They do now on YouTube. They do on YouTube, but on Twitch, it's a grey area.
No, I think it is on Twitch as well.
Twitch says you do, right? But at the same time, and this is what was brought up in the article, whereas on YouTube, it literally says underneath the video title, this is sponsored content.
Yeah.
On Twitch, you might say it at the beginning of a 10-hour stream once, and that's okay for Twitch.
I thought it had to be in your title. That's why it was.
No, that's
like
only
you have to have ads somewhere.
That's only with the bounty board system. That doesn't apply to external sponsorships outside of Twitch.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for example, for the longest time, what people were doing is in the first minute of their broadcast being going, "Hey guys, today's stream is sponsored by
blah blah blah."
Spam, right? Sponsored by Spam. And then they would go and do the whole stream 10 hours later, and then like somebody just joins. They have no idea that it's sponsored by Spam. I don't know why Spam would sponsor anybody. Does anyone eat Spam still? Is that a thing?
Spam. If you're looking for any sponsors, I will happily...
Hit me up. I enjoy Spam.
I will eat Spam on stream.
No, I don't know. I've never had it.
Do you get Spam in America?
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a similar thing. It's called like Spackle or something.
No, it's called...
Is that a thing?
Isn't Spackle like something to do with DIY? Is it like
I thought it was a food thing.
Yes. That is...
Oh, yeah. I've now found how to spackle a hole.
There you go, see?
I was going to say, that's what
we're sponsored by Spackle.
Sponsored by generic brand
I'm going to punch a hole in my wall and then we go fix it.
We were talking about
that's going to have drywall, but
we were talking about sponsorships a few weeks ago. Can we try and get like the most ridiculous sponsorship? Because I'm not sponsored by anybody yet, and I've said
I start reaching out to some just ridiculous.
Yeah, I've said that like I don't really.
You want to promote ridiculous brands to your loving community, your hardcore podcast.
I was about to say if you let me finish, right? Jesus, it's my podcast.
No, this is improv. This is comedy. This is why I'm here.
No, so I'm really picky and funny with sponsorships. I will never take a sponsorship that means I'm going to compromise my integrity or do something I don't want to do or say something I don't believe in. And I've said that if that means I don't get sponsorships, I don't get sponsorships. Yeah. However, on the other hand, I really want to get sponsored by something ridiculous. Like, I don't know.
I have no integrity. Pritt Stick.
Oh my God. Yeah, Pritt Stick or batteries. Duracell, sponsor me. Sponsor me by, I could be like... I'll dress up as a battery or as a cell.
I want to get sponsored by Spackle.
Sponsored by Spackle. I kind of want to get like just a crappy sponsorship just for a laugh. But anyway, back to the story.
This podcast is not sponsored, but if you have a hole,
yeah, we have
you need to
no
fix it.
sponsorships by the way
Spackle.
whatsoever, none at all. This is not
Hashtag
sponsored content.
sponsored, not sponsored.
Hashtag sponsored by me, brought to you by me. Anyway, so yeah, that was the positive part of the Lootbox story was that they are going to be required to show their odds, and that is fantastic. It is a step in the right direction. Talking about steps in the right direction, Rocket League are removing their loot boxes.
I'm really excited about this.
Ray, because a lot of people were very angry about adding them in.
Sorry.
Scrapple.
Scrapple's a food from Pennsylvania.
Is it anything like spam though?
It's like reconstituted meat.
So yeah, spam.
Grapple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
See,
I have not heard of that.
Not spackle, it's
I wonder if
scrapple.
spam has horse meat in it. Probably.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, it tastes delicious. It's got.
We're not going to get sponsored by spam now.
No, we just lost the spam sponsorship. God damn it!
We
God,
tried.
we were so close as well.
We lost the sponsorship.
Elliott's mom, we lost the sponsorship.
Don't bring it out. Don't bring it
Yeah,
out.
don't. Yeah,
No, it's okay.
Cancel the banner. Cancel the plane.
Cancel the spam. Stop
No.
the spam.
Cancel the show. We're gonna have to do something else. But yeah, no, it's. I'm really glad to see.
My
that-
housemates are going to be like, what is happening?
But your housemates, how do you think my neighbors feel? I already said this like last week or the week before when we were playing scary games. Like my neighbors must think every Thursday I just scream. They must think I'm a lunatic. Like just every
know.
Thursday. They're like, why is
The
it
other
Thursdays?
side of this wall is literally someone's bed.
Amazing.
No.
Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Especially because you don't stream late at night, but this is late at night for you.
This is literally why I stream in the
It's only
day.
20 past 8.
Yeah.
It's not
So
quite
it's
late
like,
at night. It's like only 8.
Yeah, but someone could be in bed.
At
if you're in
8?
bed at 20 past 8, you do
Yeah,
that.
that's your problem.
Yeah.
We have
I'm-
laws for this, Plat. It's 11 o'clock till you have to shut up.
Yeah, we have that too, but I'm just saying they could be in bed. My husband goes to bed that early.
Depends if you work like nights or whatever.
Okay, he's got a long day of suing people tomorrow.
He does. He's just like, you're sued and you're sued. And you're
He's the
And
Oprah
you get a
Winfrey of
loosuit. And
litigation.
you get a lawsuit.
Yeah.
And you get a lawsuit.
Exactly. And I'm like, why don't we all get a look?
Why can't we all just keep our own money?
Someone's
And
like,
not go to
sue
court.
20 people, and he's like, slander!
Yeah.
Wait, what was that one again? Which one is slander? We had to learn this a few weeks ago.
Slander's
didn't
the one
we?
where you say it, and then libel is if you print it.
I was joking. We talk about how
Oh.
everyone
Oh,
got
I legit
everybody
forgot.
everybody got upset because I talked shit about G2A. I called them scummy, and it's true. They are scummy. Like
I wasn't- I didn't have a problem with you saying they're scummy. My problem was when you were like, oh, their keys are stolen. And I was like,
That's true though. Half their keys are stolen. They admitted it. They literally admitted it. No,
You
it was
like Jerry
no.
Seinfeld?
It
The
was
numbers
What
fuck-
can I
it was because I said they were bribing people and they weren't bribing people. That's what it was. That's what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. I said they were bribing
was
people, but they
something
weren't.
you were like-
They were just giving people rewards for doing shit that was shady.
yeah.
What would
that's
you
not
call
bribing.
that? What kind of behavior is that?
That's
Just
called an affiliate ship.
yeah, true. Very, very true.
Please
Talking
like and
of-
subscribe so you can watch more of this rivalry every week.
Honestly, like what? Honestly, Platt, we're meeting each other in October. Like this is not going to work, is it? We're like sharing a house together.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
so excited.
I can't
for
wait.
You
I
guys
can't
are
wait
moving
for
in
EGX.
together?
No!
we're-
Oh, I was like, oh my gosh, the drama that will
Your
ensue.
face as well. You were like,
No,
I was so excited.
No, we're going to EGX, so we're going to get an Airbnb.
24-hour stream, CCTV around the
Okay.
house. Boom,
So
done.
it's like a test move-in.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're just saving money on getting
Grumpy's
individual
like,
hotels.
No, I'm never. with
No,
you."
I want to work with Elliott. I don't want to live with him. Fuck
Me and
that.
Grumps are gonna get married for the tax break.
Jesus, no.
Sounds like you got a new Twitch wifey.
Oh God, no, thank you. Oh, maybe no.
I love how Elliott's like peacocking.
He's
like,
he's
yeah,
all
man.
up for it. He's all up for it. Do I have to invest in a lock when we go to EGX? Do I have to?
Yes.
Okay.
No lock can stop me.
Oh God! Wow! Now we're definitely bordering on YouTube.
I'm gonna Mighty Cyrus that lock. It's gonna come in like a
Consent
wrecking
is
ball.
sexy. Consent is sexy.
God damn it! Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't been banned already. To be honest, I'm sure YouTube doesn't give a shit. Maybe when we have more than 250 subscribers, they'll give a
Maybe
shit.
when you get 5 copyright claims. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll start
Um,
copyright claiming now because you keep using my
Please
face.
don't. Please don't. You gave me
I
express
used-
permission to use your face.
You didn't
How
ask me.
express? How fast was it going? Was it top score?
No, it wasn't.
I was like, how long can we keep dead end?
Yeah, I know. I was like, it's getting
That's what I
awkward.
was thinking.
The silence is getting awkward.
I was
You have to leave it long
literally
enough so it
thinking
loops
earlier,
around.
like how great
yeah.
it is, because there's like literally just someone always like going off on their opinions, and I'm like, this is like a really good flow, and then there's like this dead air, and I'm like, oh, it happened.
But it
I
was
like, really
unintentional. It was an intentional data, though.
I loved it.
We're always in control of the situation, Plat. Don't you worry.
Always.
It's almost like we are. Yeah, as I say, it's like we're professionals about this shit. It's like we don't wing it every single week now. It's like I don't even research the topics before we start talking shit about them anymore.
I'm amazed that this is the first time I flashed a meme on screen. Like it's never happened before. I've been so keen for ages.
So
I
not
was here
only we have our first repeat guest, we have our first meme. The nostalgia. And
I'm your first repeat guest.
Yeah.
The first repeat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we've had a repeat. Well, apart from like,
it makes sense because
Taylor's basically a guest at this point, really.
Yeah, but
oh, shots fired. It's all right. To be fair, she doesn't watch the podcast, so she doesn't know.
She doesn't. She doesn't even watch the podcast. How bad is that?
who, Taylor?
Yeah, she's on the podcast. She doesn't even watch it.
Yeah. Why would you need to watch it if you're on
Why
it?
would you not watch it? They're great. They're great podcasts.
Look at this
But
content.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like rewatching a movie, though. That you've already
Honestly,
seen.
I black out whilst we record this, so I watch it so I know what I said.
I have to rewatch
stupid
it.
shit did I say?
Like
I
we
literally
literally
gonna
going to
say-
say, and I go, "Have we recorded the podcast yet?"
Yeah.
And then it gets uploaded, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, we must have done."
I
should
like-
I'm
I
so glad
have
we're
to
so
rewatch.
memorable in our conversation.
It's true. It's true. Remember episode 10? Yeah, sure. No, I have to watch the podcast back just in case we said something really
Yeah,
YouTube
that's
policy.
fair.
Yeah, but anyway, that's all the topics we have for today. So we're gonna go through where you can find us all and what we've all got coming up on our channels. You look stunned. Are you okay?
Well, because I was like, wait, what were we talking about? And it was loot boxes.
It was loot
And
boxes. It was
That was just like,
yeah.
wait, we did it.
Oh yeah, I had
Yeah.
that's right. I had it because I had a question about it.
Oh, go
What
ahead.
do you think the odds are?
Not like
0.001%.
the top thing will be like 1/10 of a percent.
Yeah, they're
or
like
100th of a
0.01%.
percent.
We've seen some loot box odds already on games that have given it voluntarily, and they're always super low on the rare stuff.
Like 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000.
No, like 0.001%.
1 out of a million.
You're talking like 1 in 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
I was just
low.
curious.
I mean, look at
I thought it
the
would be fun to lay down your, especially like specifically for like Overwatch, say,
look at the
and then
fiasco
you
with
could go
FIFA.
back and see
Like
what it is.
when they gave all those YouTubers a lot of, like, they had 100 FIFA packs each and they opened them up on live stream and not a single one of them got a golden. It was stupid. It was crazy. It was not like they didn't get like a good golden.
Changed the odds.
I don't know how it works, but they didn't get like a good one. Yeah, well, yeah.
I
they
mean,
should've changed the odds,
I kind of want to do it with your Overwatch loot boxes
Yeah,
and just open them and see what the numbers come out.
So for anybody who doesn't know, I have over 100 loot boxes now on Overwatch because I don't. You earn them in game, and I don't open them out of principle. But I also kind of want to do it as an experiment, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I'm like, I need
if
some.
we do it for YouTube, like, come on,
There you go.
Yeah.
do it for the Vine.
If I was, I kind of want to do it for something special though, like, like I want to do it for a giveaway or a charity or something. I don't know. If I'm gonna sit through opening 100 things I don't like, I want there to be something positive out of it, So
Mhm.
we'll see. If anybody has any ideas, let me know down in the comments
Science.
below. Yeah. But Elliot, where can people find you and what have you got coming up on your channels this week?
You can find me at Insomnia in 2 weeks' time. Boom!
I
Come
said
and find
this
me.
week. That's 2 weeks
Say
away.
hello. Yeah, I know. I'm excited, man.
Oh, okay. I'll allow it.
The bongo broke down.
The what?
The bongo. We're taking a Mazda bongo. It's like a big people carrier, and it broke
Oh,
down. And
oh.
now everyone's
Like the
panicking.
musical instrument.
Yeah, we're gonna ride
Yeah,
a
but
musical
it's a car.
instrument up the motorway, but it's a car.
Yeah.
No, it's a Mazda bongo. It's a big people carrier. But no, this
Okay.
week you can find me on twitch.tv/BlindsideUK. I might do some bonus streams this week because I have nothing to do in the week. So
Oh.
I am definitely there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 p.m. British time. I will be playing more Shadow of War, and Friday I'll be finishing Hellblade because I didn't do it this week because of hangovers. And if I do some extra stuff, it might be Satisfactory, might be Stardew Valley, might be Dead by Daylight. Who knows?
We haven't played DBD in
Oh.
ages.
Yeah, I
would be-
know.
I
I
said
played
that
it.
last time I was here.
What? I haven't played in ages. We
Did
didn't
nothing
play.
changed? Yeah.
No,
We played
Wow.
since then.
I haven't gone off of
Okay.
it, but we have played since then. I played Killer more often than not now because
Yeah.
no one will play with me. I'm all alone. Also, if you want to just think of how ridiculous every argument in this podcast is. If you want to see a lot more of that, go to Twitter, @blindside_UK, and you can watch me have these arguments with just strangers. Which to go Grumps, you've seen my tweets. I almost exclusively tweet when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
So, like,
I get them all the time. He like professes his love.
I get a few beers in, and I just like, I can go on Twitter.
It's true. I do that so much. To be fair,
it's the only way that I can deal with Twitter most of the time.
Yeah, you need some form of drug to get through Twitter. To be honest,
some sort of coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
But yeah, follow me on Twitter. Also on Twitter, I do all the updates for the podcast, for my Twitch channel, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't really. I mean, we can link it in the comments because I don't have a URL yet.
Yeah, true. Just work on it. Just get it.
I need to make a video.
Don't you need like 100 subscribers or something for the?
I don't know. I keep getting views on the stupid to hit the brakes Tina video. It's still happening.
Last week. Yeah,
and it's been more this week. I don't know what's like. It's pointless.
Man, it so sucks when I'm successful and my content gets viewed.
Well, no. It sucks, right? It's because we have a similar situation, right? Where Elliott did a shitty little video. No offense, right? Shitty little video, right? They're getting all these views, and then he puts effort into a real video, and it gets no views. And I have the same thing. I have a Dead by Daylight video that I just put together one day for kind of a laugh, right? And it's nearly at 2,000 views. I put loads of effort into a video and I'm like really working hard. I do a script and all this stuff, and everyone's like, hello, 50 views. And I'm like, why? Like, why do you watch my shit? Watch my good stuff. Don't watch my shit stuff.
I have videos that like took an hour to film, a couple of hours to edit. Really, like I researched into things, wrote scripts and stuff. Nothing. And then put funny sound over a GIF, and it's just like everyone's like, "I want to watch
comedy."
Yeah, pretty much.
I'll watch your content, and I will give you guys all reviews on why certain videos get more views than other videos.
Please.
I watch a lot of YouTube. I love it.
Please do. But Plat, where can people find you if they want to come and see more of you?
So lots of platinum hunting is on twitch.tv. And
you cut out a little bit there, just a little bit. Do you want to just repeat that? Because
she likes to whisper.
Yeah,
it makes it tense.
Yeah. Oh, we can use the ASMR tag now and get loads of views. Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Hi everyone.
We've just lost 50 subscribers though for doing it. But
this is the sound of beard rubbing on pop filter.
We gained 1,000 more, so it's all good. Continue, please.
First of all, side note, I freaking love it. I like listen to it every day. Anyway,
no,
no, it's twitch.tv/PlatinumTrophyWife for all the platinum hunting, as well as some shenanigans on Fridays. Monday through Friday is when I stream. Monday through Thursday, I start at noon Pacific time, and then on Fridays I start at 2. And let's see, Instagram, plat.trophy.wife. And so you get a lot of content of selfies and lakes and working out and stuff.
Very true.
Pretty much life updates.
Out.
I can confirm. I do follow you on Instagram. I know.
And a motivational quote, some art on. And then at PlatTrophyWife, no periods, no dots on Twitter. And that's for quick comedy, lots of retweets, lots of gymnastics talk, because the Gymnastics World Championships are today, and so I'm stoked.
Nice.
Well, not today, because you're going to post this later. In the past.
It's, yeah. Oh, we have time travel organically. Elliott, we have time travel. It wasn't even me. It wasn't even me this time. Plat did it. She's getting in on the jokes.
Yeah, because you're even like, it's Saturday. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Oh, it's Saturday. Wait, no. Copyright strikes.
Yeah.
I nearly sang. I get excited.
So have you got anything coming up on your channel this week? Specifically?
I'm working on Uncharted 2. So old school PS3, Uncharted 2. Getting the plat on that, so that's going to be most of my focus.
Nice. Definitely should go check out Plat. She's awesome.
I have the collection.
That's I do too.
I played the first one, and it's like Corridor Simulator, and I was like, yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the first one either. I think I need to play the newer ones, because the first
one's not so hot. The second one is a lot better. Like that's why the series is so big. And then the third one I haven't even finished, so that'll be a brand new like blind playthrough. And then the fourth one is my favorite.
Fourth one does look very, very good.
I've only got 3. I picked it up secondhand, I think.
Wait, did you just buy used games? Who even are you?
Almost exclusively. Remember earlier I said I'm poor?
I know. I know.
Is that a
this is why...
physical copy of a game?
Is there a disc in there that does nothing? You still have to download like 20 gigabytes of data?
That's
Yes.
disgusting.
Oh my god. Do you know how many people's hands have touched that?
It's
Oh.
Uncharted, not that many. Joking, it's actually a good series. Anyway, if you have found this channel, you've obviously already found my YouTube channel. I have got a Dino Crisis Let's Play coming up on the channel sometime this week. I will hopefully also have Elliott and I's... That sounded weird. Wolfenstein Youngblood Let's Play also up, which is a dual perspective. We've got 2 perspectives on that one, so hopefully that should get uploaded very shortly soon. If I can get time to edit it. I mean, I need to do it today. It's now 25 to 9, so yeah, sure. I have that coming up on the YouTube channel. Also, I have streams on the Twitch channel Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Although I'm doing a lot of late nights this week, so I don't know how I'm going to figure that into my streams. We'll see, but I'm trying my best. I stream scary games on Thursdays. If you like horror, come and watch a big bearded man cry like a baby playing ridiculously scary horror games with scary alerts.
You also
on.
have scare alerts.
Yeah, I love the scary alerts. Like, I forget to turn. So, true story, I forget to turn the scary alerts off every single week. So every Sunday when I come to stream, I'm like, oh, let's play lovely Stardew Valley. And then you get 5 Nights at Freddy jump scare and I like pee myself and then it's all fun and everyone laughs at me. But yeah, that's basically where you can find me. I'm the Grumpy Brit or the Grumpy Brit TV on everything. So you should be able to find me super easily. But if you have enjoyed the podcast this week, please give the video a like. It really helps out the channel. Let us know down in the comments if you've enjoyed it. Also, that also helps the channel. And we will see you all next time.
And it's
Bye.
absolutely free.
It is free.
Free
It is
podcast.
free. It's free support.
It takes no effort.
It just takes 2 seconds of your time, which I think is a fair trade.
You have to have made it through
Super
an hour and
easy.
45 of this nonsense to have heard
Right.
this message.
Yeah,
Plus,
we
if
really
you
should
like
say at the
it,
beginning.
then YouTube will use that in your algorithm and you'll get even more videos that you like and recommended.
Plus,
get more
if you
videos of
like
me.
this video, you will become rich. It's just a fact. It will happen in your life. Just do it. See what
What about
happens.
those correlations, not causation?
Shh. It's okay when I use them for my gain.
And if
Okay.
you're really rich, you can go on a Wednesday and buy all the ice cream.
Exactly. That's how it works. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Oh,
That was
okay.
adorable.
No. No. Bye.